Hi, I'm Matt Van Natta, the creator of the Stoic podcast Good Fortune and the writer at amoderatestoic.com. Just recently I wrote a short blog post about my support of Black Lives Matter, PDX, the national movement as a whole, but more specifically my own community. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and I want to continue talking about some of the things I learned through that, or how I approached the march that I took part in on July 7th. And to do so, I thought I'd try something new, video. I am much more comfortable writing out my words and speaking them into microphones, written, than talking off the cuff, but here we go. What I really want to talk about is how I chose to take part in a particular protest using my stoicism, particularly thinking about virtue and my duty to my community and to just all people and things of that nature. Part of what sparked this particular video was that J.L. Adkins on Facebook, on my Moderate Stoic page, had asked me in response to the article I wrote, which is entitled, by the way, #Don'tShootPDX and Stoicism, if you're looking it up. And if I can figure out YouTube, maybe I'll put a link to it. JSL was asking if a slogan like "No Justice, No Peace" was Stoic, and if it was possible to repeat that sort of thing if it's non-virtuous or something, or other phrases if it's non-virtuous. Hopefully I didn't put too many words into JSL's mouth. You can go look at the conversation online if you want to. In any case, that made me think about the whole process of deciding to go and march. This particular march came about because of the recent deaths of two men, Alton and Philando Castile, both of which were murdered by police officers. And of course, Black Lives Matter as a movement comes out of the constant killing, constant taking of black lives by sanctioned state violence. So they're an organization I support wholeheartedly, and want to partner with in solidarity when I can. I can't be a direct member. It's a organization for the black community, for all of the black community, but it's specific, intentionally so, and I think rightfully so, in order to keep people like myself from derailing it, their conversations and their actions constantly by coming with my own okay, well, my phone fell asleep, or went to sleep, while I was recording that, so we'll see if I can edit within YouTube and remember what I was just saying. I believe I was just talking about my support for Black Lives Matter, and particularly the PDX, the Portland, Oregon group, since they're part of my community, and I like what they're putting out there. In particular, things like this, I brought up a write-up they have about their goals, and when they talk about freedom, liberation for individuals, they say liberation is not power or representation in a violent, backward system. Liberation is not slightly more comfortable or tolerable oppression. Liberation is not the ability to exploit or oppress other people for the illusion of safety and a few creature comforts soaked in blood. Liberation is every human of every identity on earth coexisting with safety, self-determination, and a connection to all of humanity, the ancestors, the water, the land, with free healthcare, free housing, free food, free education, and a warm and protecting and the warmth and protection of a thriving planet, culture, and community. I support that vision of a future that we are hopefully not far from, but it seems like it. But it's worth working towards. So, with those sort of things in mind, when I found out that they were going to hold a rally, a protest within my own city, my wife and I talked it out, and I decided to go. Oh, by the way, having just said why I support Black Lives Matter in part, I'm going to, on my site, talk about what I believe and explain myself, but I'm not necessarily interested in defending myself in particular. If you think that all lives matter in the way that constantly derails the specific work that groups like Black Lives Matter are doing, if you believe that there is no real white privilege, or that or in reverse racism and such, then I would hope you will go off and educate yourself better. But I'm not here for you, so I'm not that interested in having a full conversation about that. Except when I have a little riliness in myself on a night after a beer. We'll see. Anyway, back to what we were doing. I went to a protest with the assumption that we would probably leave Pioneer Square and block a bridge or something. I didn't know that for a fact, but I assumed it would happen. I was watching Twitter. I knew what was going on at other protests around the country. So I talked with my wife about the possibility of taking that sort of action, and the possibility of jail and things like that. And we came to decisions based on what I could do, and then I went. And there's video that I have you can find on I'm Stoic, my Twitter handle at I'm Stoic, which I did through Periscope. You can see what we did and all of that. Point being that back to what J-Cell asked. J-Cell asked if my participating in that march and saying things like no justice, no peace, which could be construed as, don't give us justice, we will not let you have peace. It's not how I meant it when I say it, but I understand that sentiment. Or other, things that get chanted at protests or such were legitimate from a Stoic perspective. So I want to talk about virtue, because Stoicism is a virtue philosophy. It's a virtue philosophy. The idea is that our character matters, and that our character is, our virtue is what matters. It's wholly sufficient for a flourishing life, at least in the eyes of many Stoics, myself included. And so what is virtue? I had to stop recording again, because, man, virtue is a huge topic. It's hard to pull to mind what I want to say. Virtue is a process, okay? It's not a destination. People are virtuous or not. Things aren't. Even actions aren't, specifically, depending on how you want to parse that stuff philosophically. Virtue, as I think I already said, is about how we live our life, not the circumstances of life. A phrase, no justice, no peace, is not in itself virtuous. It can be said with virtue, it can be said without. Are there things that probably could never be virtuous? No. There's probably contexts of where things could never be virtuous, but wow, that's a rabbit hole. Anyway, virtue is a process that you have to live out. It's not possible for me to gain all justice and then rest on my laurels. I have to live with justice at all times. Justice, wisdom, temperance, courage, and all the subcategories of that. Those are for those that haven't looked into virtue, writings of the past and such. Those were the 4 cardinal virtues that I just mentioned, subdivided to infinity in many writings. And Stoicism in particular tends to look at virtue as a whole. Those 4 virtue words are facets of a virtuous life, but virtue is that life lived well, lived perfectly in a sense. I have never even probably performed a single action perfectly, but I can strive for a better me. And so when something like a protest comes up, when we're talking about the injustices of our world, you have to think out what my role is. In the case of the hashtag Don't Shoot PDX march on the 7th, I found out that there was a call to action, and being a group that I support, I knew I could at least begin to take part in a way that that I felt justified doing. So I went to attend. When we began to move towards a direct action of taking the streets, I am fully okay with disruptive protest as a tactic. Okay. Man, see video, I just feel like I'm rambling forever whenever I talk without writing it out. Here's the thing. Stoicism's a virtue philosophy. Stoicism has a point. It's about making people better and a world that is better. And it has views on that. It's not simply a means of controlling our thoughts. Getting our mind right is a way to take this tool that is our brain and make it functional so that we can live out a flourishing life and create a flourishing world for everyone, not just ourselves. The training that Stoicism asks of us, thinking about the bad to understand that is not truly bad. Thinking in big picture, view from above, so that we can free ourselves from the anxieties of the moment. These things give us benefit, but there is a point to it. We are not anxious. We don't lose our anxiety for the sake of losing anxiety. We lose our anxiety for the sake of taking bold action. In my case, the world that I think we should have isn't even close to being here. Things are wrong deeply, and things have to change, and to do that you have to take some actions. And some of them are small things. Planking a bridge is a small thing. It's not building a community in particular, but there are reasons behind protests of that sort. The deeper things, commitments to larger movements, commitment to building community, commitment to building alternatives to those things that I think are wrong, that would allow for a world where people can have, access to the same things I have, and access to the possibility of a flourishing life, not just in our Stoic will, but in the good things of the world as well. To do that, I have to act with virtue, and that's an important part of my Stoic practice. I guess that's all I have to say for the moment. I'll go piece this together and see if I find any point in putting it out there. But hey, it's an experiment. Talking. An hour later, I find out that the sign-off was not recorded. So, thank you for listening. Matt Van Natta, that's me, at immoderatestoic.com, and the podcast Good Fortune, and at I'm Stoic on Twitter. I always end with bad fortune born nobly is good fortune. So there you go. Bye.